Welcome to Top Rare Coins, your ultimate destination for discovering the hidden treasures of history. On this channel, we explore some of the most fascinating and valuable old coins from the United States. From rare pennies and silver dollars to historic coins worth thousands of dollars. Each piece has a story waiting to be uncovered. Whether you're a collector, a history lover, or just curious about coins you might have lying around, this channel will guide you through the world of rare U.S. coins, helping you valuable finds and learn what makes them so special. Don't forget to subscribe and join us as we uncover the secrets behind America's rarest coins. 6 Liberty 1-cent coin, no mint mark. Could this penny be worth over $1.20 million? Script. Imagine holding a simple 1-cent coin in your hand, a coin that most people would overlook, toss into a jar, or spend without a second thought. Now imagine that same coin being worth over $1 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? But today, we are diving deep into one of the most talked about coins in the collector world, the 1986 Liberty 1 cent with no mint mark. This coin has sparked curiosity, debate, and excitement among collectors and beginners alike. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this tiny piece of copper could potentially change someone's life forever. Let's start with the basics. The 1986 Lincoln cent, often called the Liberty 1 cent by collectors due to the Liberty inscription on the obverse, was widely produced by the United States Mint. Millions upon millions of these coins were struck that year. Under normal circumstances, a 1986 penny is worth only its face value, just 1 cent, but here's where things get interesting. Most 1986 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, which typically means they carry no mint mark. That alone is not rare. However, certain extremely rare variations, minting errors, and unusual characteristics can transform an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. And this is exactly what brings us to the mysterious 1986 1-cent coin with no mint mark that has been rumored and in some cases reported to reach values starting from $1.2 million. What makes this coin so special? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and error. First, rarity. While billions of pennies were produced, only a tiny fraction may contain unique minting anomalies. These anomalies could include die errors, off-center strikes, double dies, or even transitional metal compositions. If a coin was struck under unusual conditions or with a defective die, it instantly becomes far more valuable than standard coins. Second, condition. In coin collecting, condition is everything. A coin graded in near-perfect or mint-state condition can be worth exponentially more than the same coin with wear and tear. Coins that have never been circulated, with sharp details and original luster, are the ones that command premium prices. Now combine extreme rarity with perfect condition, and you have a coin that could attract serious collectors willing to pay extraordinary amounts. Third, minting errors. This is where the real magic happens. Some collectors believe that certain 1986 no-mint mark pennies may have rare double die features. This means the design was stamped more than once, slightly misaligned, creating a visible doubling effect on the letters or numbers. Others speculate about planchet errors, where the metal blank used was not standard for that year. These types of errors are highly sought after because they are accidental, unpredictable, and nearly impossible to replicate. Now let's talk about value. When you hear that a 1986 1-cent coin could start from $1.2 million, it's important to understand that this is not the value of every coin from that year. This level of value is reserved for extremely rare, verified specimens with exceptional characteristics. Coins that reach this level are typically authenticated by professional grading services. They undergo detailed examination to confirm their authenticity, grade, and uniqueness. Only then can they enter high-end auctions where elite collectors compete to own them. And yes, in the world of rare coins, it only takes one extraordinary piece to break records and redefine expectations. How can you tell if you might have one of these valuable coins? Start by examining your coin carefully. Look at the date, 1986. Check for the absence of a mint mark below the date. Then observe the details. Do you notice any doubling in the lettering, especially in the words Liberty or I in God We Trust? Are there any unusual marks, misalignments, or striking errors? Next, evaluate the condition. Is the coin shiny, with minimal scratches and strong details? Or does it show signs of heavy circulation? If your coin looks promising, The next step is to have it evaluated by a professional coin grading service. This is crucial because authentication determines whether your coin has real collectible value. Another important factor is demand. The coin market is driven by collectors who are always searching for unique pieces to complete their collections. When a coin gains attention due to rarity or media exposure, demand can increase rapidly, pushing prices even higher. This is why some coins that were once considered ordinary suddenly become incredibly valuable. Now let's consider the bigger picture. Stories like the 1986 No Mint Mark penny inspire collectors around the world. They remind us that hidden treasures can exist in everyday places, in old jars, forgotten drawers, or even loose change. For YouTube creators and collectors alike, coins like this create powerful content opportunities. They attract viewers, spark curiosity, and encourage engagement. Topics such as rare coins, valuable pennies, and million-dollar discoveries consistently perform well in search rankings if you're building a channel around rare coins. This is exactly the type of content that can drive views and growth. Focus on clear titles, strong keywords like rare 1986 penny, no mint mark coin value, and valuable Lincoln cents, and combine them with detailed explanations and real examples. Now, back to the coin itself. Is it possible that a 1986 Liberty 1 cent with no mint mark could be worth over $1.2 million? In the world of rare coins, the answer is always, it depends. It depends on rarity, error type, condition, authentication, and demand. But what makes this topic so exciting is the possibility. The possibility that something so small and seemingly insignificant could hold incredible value. The possibility that you might already own one without even realizing it. And the possibility that the next million-dollar coin is waiting to be discovered. So, here's what you should do right now. Today, let's start with the basics. The 1980 Lincoln penny is part of the long-running Lincoln cent series, first introduced in 1909. By 1980, these coins were still composed primarily of copper, which already gives them a slight intrinsic value above face value. Now, when it comes to mint marks, there are two main types for the 1980 penny. Coins with no mint mark were struck in Philadelphia, while coins with a D mint mark were produced in Denver. Both versions were made in very large quantities, meaning that most examples you'll find today are common. Because of this, a typical circulated 1980 penny, whether it has a D mint mark or no mint mark, is usually worth only a few cents. Even in uncirculated condition, most coins sell for less than $1. So where does the excitement come from? The real value lies in rare conditions, grading quality, and most importantly, mint errors. Let's talk about condition first. Coin collectors use a grading scale to determine value. Coins that are heavily worn from circulation have the lowest value, while coins that are in mint state condition, meaning they show no signs of wear, can be worth significantly more. For example, a 1980 penny graded in MS65 condition, which is considered a high-quality uncirculated coin, might sell for several dollars. At MS67 or higher, prices can rise into the hundreds, especially if the coin has strong eye appeal and clean surfaces. But even at the highest grades, these coins still don't reach extreme values unless something unusual is present. That brings us to the most important factor: errors. Error coins are where collectors focus their attention, and this is where you could potentially find something valuable. One of the most sought-after errors in 1980 pennies is the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck with a misaligned die, causing parts of the design, especially the date or lettering, to appear doubled. If you spot clear doubling on the words Liberty or In God We Trust, your coin could be worth significantly more than a standard example. Another valuable error to look for is an off-center strike. These coins were not properly aligned during minting, resulting in a design that is shifted to one side. The more off-center the strike, the more valuable the coin can be, especially if the date is still visible. There are also broad strike errors, where the coin appears stretched or flattened due to a missing retaining collar during minting. These can be visually striking and are highly collectible. Clip planchets are another interesting variety. These occur when a portion of the metal blank is missing before the coin is struck, leaving a curved or straight clip on the edge of the coin. And then there are die cracks and cuds, raised lines or blobs of metal caused by damaged dies. While some are minor, Larger and more dramatic examples can carry a premium. Now let's address the idea of extremely high values. You may have seen claims online suggesting that a 1980 penny could be worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. These claims are often misleading or based on misunderstandings that in reality. No standard 1980 Lincoln penny has sold for anything close to $1 million. Even the rarest known examples, including high-grade error coins, typically sell in the range of a few hundred to a few $1,000s depending on rarity and condition. The only coins that reach million-dollar levels are extremely rare historical coins, often with unique backstories, limited surviving examples, and strong demand among elite collectors. So, if you're holding a 1980 penny, what should you do? Start by examining the coin closely under good lighting. Look for any unusual features, doubling, off-center strikes, cracks, or anything that looks different from a normal coin. Next, check the condition. Coins that are bright, clean, and free from scratches or wear are more valuable than worn examples. If you believe you found something special, consider having the coin professionally graded. Third-party grading services can authenticate the coin, assign it a grade, and help establish its market value. This step is especially important if you plan to sell, as certified coins tend to attract more serious buyers. Finally, stay informed. The coin market changes over time, and values can fluctuate based on demand, collector interest, and new discoveries. Following reliable sources and staying updated will help you make smarter decisions. To summarize, the 1980 Lincoln penny is a common coin in most cases, but certain factors can increase its value significantly. Coins with no mint mark and those with a D mint mark are both widely available, but rare errors and high-grade specimens are where the real money is. While it's exciting to think about finding a coin worth a fortune, it's even more important to focus on accurate information and realistic expectations. That's how you build a collection and a channel that people trust. Today's video, we're diving into one of the most talked about modern coins in the collecting world, the 1990 Lincoln 1 cent with no mint mark. At first glance, this coin may look completely ordinary. It's a simple penny, something you've probably seen thousands of times or even spent without thinking twice. But what if I told you that some collectors are claiming this exact coin could be worth over $1,000, and in rare cases, even much more depending on condition and errors? Let's break down the facts, the hype, and the real value behind this intriguing coin so you can determine if you might have one sitting in your pocket, jar, or coin collection right now. First, let's understand what the 1990 Lincoln penny is. This coin is part of the Lincoln Cent series, one of the longest-running coin designs in United States history. The obverse features Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse, in 1990, still displayed the Lincoln Memorial design. These coins were produced in massive quantities, meaning millions, actually billions, were minted. Now here's where things get interesting. When collectors talk about a no mint mark coin, they're referring to a coin that does not display a small letter indicating where it was minted. In 1990, pennies without a mint mark were struck at the Philadelphia Mint. So technically, a 1990 penny with no mint mark is completely normal and not rare by itself. But wait, this is where the story changes. The excitement around the 1990 no mint mark penny comes from specific high-grade examples and rare minting errors. In coin collecting, condition is everything. A coin that looks brand new, with sharp details, no scratches, and full original shine is classified as mint state. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. For example, a 1990 penny in average circulated condition might only be worth 1 or 2 cents. But if you find one in near-perfect mint state condition, especially graded MS67 or higher, its value can jump significantly. Some high-grade examples have sold for hundreds of dollars at auction. Now let's talk about the real reason this coin is trending online. The possibility of rare errors. Error coins are where serious money comes into play. These include double die errors, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and other minting mistakes that make a coin unique. A genuine error on a 1990 penny can dramatically increase its value, sometimes reaching into the thousands depending on rarity and demand. There have been viral claims suggesting that a 1990 no mint mark penny could be worth $1,200 or more, even up to extreme figures like $1 million. While those higher-end numbers are often exaggerated or based on unverified listings, they highlight an important truth. Collectors are willing to pay big money for rare, high-quality, or error coins that is, oh, how do you know if your 1990 penny is valuable? Start by checking the condition. Look closely at the coin under good lighting. Does it still have its original reddish shine, known as red by collectors? Are the details crisp and sharp, especially on Lincoln's hair and the steps of the memorial? If so, you might have a higher grade coin. Next, inspect for errors. Use a magnifying glass or microscope if possible. Look for doubling in the lettering, unusual marks, or anything that looks off compared to a normal penny. Even small differences can mean big value. Also, consider professional grading. Trusted grading services can evaluate your coin and assign it an official grade, which significantly increases buyer confidence and market value. Coins in certified holders often sell for much higher prices than raw coins. Now let's talk about realistic market value. A typical 1990 no-mint mark penny. Circulated condition, around 1 to 5 cents. Uncirculated condition, $1 to $1.10. High-grade mint state, $50 to several $100s. Rare error coins, potentially $500 to $1,200 or more so. While it's technically possible for a 1990 penny to reach four figures under the right circumstances, those cases are extremely rare and depend heavily on condition and errors. This brings us to an important point. Don't ignore your coins. Many valuable coins go unnoticed because they look ordinary. Collectors often find rare pieces in everyday change, coin rolls from banks, or old collections passed down through generations. The key is knowing what to look for and taking the time to check. The 1990 Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how a common coin can still hold hidden value. It's not about the year alone. It's about the condition, rarity, and unique characteristics that make a coin stand out. If you're serious about coin collecting or even just curious, start building the habit of checking your pennies. You never know when you might come across a coin worth far more than its face value. And remember, the coin market is always changing. Prices fluctuate based on demand, collector interest, and new discoveries. A coin that's worth a few dollars today could be worth much more in the future, especially if it's preserved in excellent condition. Before we wrap up, here's a quick checklist for your 1990 penny. No mint mark is normal, but check condition. Look for strong red color and minimal wear. Inspect for errors or unusual features. Consider professional grading for high-quality coins. Today's video, we're going to break down the true value of the 1993 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, reveal the rare errors collectors are searching for, and show you exactly what to look for that could turn an ordinary coin into something far more valuable. But let's start with the basics. The 1993 Lincoln penny, often called the Lincoln cent, features Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Coins without a mint mark were produced in Philadelphia, and in 1993, millions of these pennies were minted. Because of this high production, most 1993 pennies are very common in circulation today. But here's where it gets interesting. Even though the majority of these coins are only worth face value, certain factors can significantly increase their value. These include condition, grading, and most importantly, rare minting errors. First, let's talk about condition. Coin collectors use a grading system to determine a coin's condition, ranging from poor all the way up to mint state. A typical circulated 1993 penny is usually worth just 1 cent. However, if you find one in uncirculated condition, meaning it has never been used in everyday transactions and still retains its original shine, the value can increase to a few dollars. Now, if you have a coin graded at MS65 or higher, especially with a strong strike and clean surfaces, collectors may pay anywhere from $10 to $50 depending on demand. But condition alone isn't what creates real excitement in the coin collecting world. The real value comes from errors. Mint errors are mistakes that occur during the coin production process, and these can dramatically increase a coin's value. For the 1993 Lincoln penny, there are several types of errors you should be looking for. One of the most popular is the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck more than once by the die, causing parts of the design to appear doubled. Look closely at the lettering, especially the words Liberty and In God We Trust. If you notice clear doubling, your coin could be worth significantly more. Another valuable error is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during minting, resulting in part of the design being missing. Depending on how off-center the strike is, These coins can sell for $20 to $100 or more. Next, check for die cracks and cuds. A die crack appears as a raised line on the coin's surface, caused by a crack in the minting die. A cud is a more advanced form of this error, where a chunk of the die breaks off completely. These errors can make your coin more desirable to collectors. There's also the possibility of a broad strike error, where the coin is struck without the retaining collar, causing it to appear wider and thinner than normal. These are less common and can command higher prices. Now let's talk about one of the most overlooked factors: color. Copper coins like the 1993 penny are graded not just by condition, but also by color. You'll often see terms like brown, and red. A full red 1993 penny, meaning it retains its original bright copper color, is far more valuable than a brown one that has darkened over time. In high grades, a red example can sell for several times more than a brown coin. So always check the color carefully. Now here's the key question: can a 1993 penny ever be worth thousands of dollars? In very rare cases, yes, but only under specific conditions. If you find a 1993 penny with a major mint error combined with a very high grade, and it gets professionally graded by a top service like PCGS or NGC, it could potentially reach into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on rarity and demand. But claims of values like $1 million or more are not realistic for this coin type. Those extreme values are usually associated with ultra-rare historical coins, not modern pennies from the 1990s. That said, there's still a strong opportunity here. Many valuable coins are discovered by people who simply took the time to look closely at their change. And the 1993 Lincoln penny is still widely available, making it a perfect coin for beginners and collectors alike. Here's what you should do next. Start by gathering any 1993 pennies you have. Use a magnifying glass or coin loop to inspect the details. Focus on the date, the word liberty, and the motto "In God We Trust." Look for doubling, unusual shapes, or anything that looks different from a normal coin. Next, examine the edges and overall shape. If the coin looks off-center, too wide, or slightly distorted, it could be an error coin. Then, check the color and condition. Coins that are bright, clean, and free of scratches are always more valuable. If you believe you found something unusual, consider having it evaluated by a professional grading service. This not only confirms authenticity, but can significantly increase the coin's market value. Finally, let's talk about market demand. The value of any coin ultimately depends on what collectors are willing to pay. Online marketplaces, auctions, and coin shows are great places to see what similar coins are selling for. Prices can vary based on trends, collector interest, and overall rarity. To summarize that a standard 1993 Lincoln penny with no mint mark is common and usually worth 1 cent. Uncirculated examples can reach a few dollars, while high-grade coins may sell for up to $50 or more. Rare error coins, however, can be worth significantly higher amounts depending on the type and severity of the error. Today we're diving into one of the most talked about modern coins in circulation, the 1995 Lincoln Memorial 1 cent with no mint mark. If you've been searching for valuable pennies or rare coins in your pocket change, this is a coin that keeps appearing in headlines, listings, and viral videos claiming massive values reaching into the thousands and even millions. But what is the real story behind this coin, and can it truly be worth over $1 million? Let's break it down step by step so you understand exactly what to look for, what makes this coin valuable, and how to determine if you might have a hidden treasure. First, let's talk about the basics. The 1995 Lincoln Memorial penny is part of the long-running Lincoln cent series originally introduced in 1909. This coin features Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. In 1995, these pennies were produced in multiple U.S. mint locations, including Philadelphia and Denver. Now here's where the confusion starts. A 1995 penny with no mint mark is not automatically rare. In fact, pennies minted in Philadelphia traditionally do not carry a mint mark. So a 1995 penny without a mint mark simply means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Millions upon millions of these coins were produced, making the standard version very common. So why are people talking about extreme values like $1,200, $5,000, or even claims of $1.2 million? The answer lies in errors and condition. Collectors don't just look at the date or mint mark. They look for specific minting errors, varieties, and the overall condition of the coin. These factors can dramatically increase value. One of the most famous varieties associated with the 1995 penny is the 1995 double die obverse. This is a legitimate and recognized error where the lettering on the front of the coin appears doubled, especially in the words Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date 1995. This doubling is not damage. It is a result of a misalignment during the die creation process at the mint. If you have a 1995 no mint mark penny with strong double die features, this is where things start to get interesting. Coins with clear and strong doubling in uncirculated condition can sell for hundreds to even thousands of dollars depending on grading. However, even in this case, reaching into the millions would require an extraordinary situation, such as a unique specimen, extreme rarity, or historical significance beyond the known varieties. Another factor that affects value is condition, often referred to as grade. Coins are graded on a scale from poor condition all the way up to mint state. A coin that has never been circulated and shows no wear can be significantly more valuable than one that has been used in everyday transactions. For example, a 1995 no mint mark penny in average circulated condition might only be worth 1 cent to a few cents. But the same coin in pristine mint state condition, especially if it has a strong error like a doubled die, can jump to hundreds or even over $1,000. Now let's address the big claim. The idea that a 1995 penny with no mint mark is worth $1.2 million is not supported by verified auction records for standard issues. These kinds of claims often come from misleading listings, exaggerated online posts, or confusion with extremely rare coins from entirely different categories. In the coin collecting world, million-dollar coins do exist, but they are typically historic rarities such as early American coins, unique minting errors, or coins with extremely limited known examples. That said, it's still very possible to find valuable coins in circulation, and the 1995 penny is a great example of a coin worth checking carefully. Here's what you should look for if you want to evaluate your own coin. Start with the date and mint mark. Confirm that your coin is from 1995 and does not have a mint mark under the date. Next, examine the word Liberty and the phrase In God We Trust using a magnifying glass. Look closely for doubling in the letters. True double die errors will show clear separation, not just blurriness or damage. Then check the condition. Is the coin shiny and sharp, or worn and dull? The better the condition, the higher the potential value. Also pay attention to the color. Lincoln cents are typically categorized as red, red-brown, or brown. Red coins with original luster are generally more desirable and valuable, but if you believe you have a strong error coin, the next step is to get it authenticated and graded by a professional coin grading service. This adds credibility and can significantly increase the value when selling. From a content strategy perspective, coins like the 1995 no mint mark penny perform extremely well on YouTube because they combine accessibility with the excitement of hidden value. Anyone can check their pocket change, which makes the topic highly engaging and shareable. For your video, focus on clear visuals, close-up shots of doubling, and comparisons between normal and error coins. Use keywords like rare 1995 penny, valuable pennies to look for, Lincoln cent errors, and double die penny value to optimize search visibility. Today's video, we're diving into one of the most talked about modern coins in the collecting world, the 2020 Lincoln 1 cent with no mint mark. Could a simple penny from your pocket really be worth up to $1.2 million? That's exactly what we're going to explore in detail. So make sure you watch until the end because you might be sitting on a hidden fortune without even realizing it. Let's start with the basics. The 2020 Lincoln cent is part of the long-running Lincoln penny series, first introduced in 1909. These coins feature Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Union Shield design on the reverse, which has been used since 2010. Most 2020 pennies were produced in massive quantities at the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. Now here's where things get interesting. Coins produced in Philadelphia typically do not carry a mint mark, while those from Denver have a D-mint mark. So at first glance, a 2020 penny without a mint mark might seem completely normal. And in most cases, it is. However, certain rare varieties and minting errors can transform an ordinary coin into something extremely valuable. These are the coins collectors are constantly searching for. And the reason why some listings claim values reaching into the thousands or even millions. What exactly makes a 2020 no mint mark penny valuable? The answer lies in condition, rarity, and errors. Let's talk about condition first. In coin collecting, condition is graded on a scale, with the highest grade being mint state 70. A coin graded at this level is considered perfect, with no visible flaws even under magnification. While most circulated pennies are only worth face value, a flawless 2020 penny in perfect condition could command a significantly higher price. Next comes rarity. While billions of 2020 pennies were produced, only a tiny fraction exist in top-tier condition. Even fewer may have unique characteristics that set them apart from standard coins. And this brings us to the most important factor: mint errors. Mint errors are the real game changer when it comes to coin value. These occur during the production process and can include things like double strikes, off-center strikes, die cracks, and missing design elements. For the 2020 no mint mark penny, collectors have reported several types of errors that can dramatically increase value. Some examples include double die errors, where parts of the design appear duplicated, and die breaks, where visible cracks form on the coin's surface. Another highly sought-after error is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned during minting, resulting in a design that is shifted to one side. The more dramatic the misalignment, the more valuable the coin can become. There are also coins with unusual surface textures or planchet errors. These occur when the metal blank itself has imperfections before being struck. Now let's address the big question. Is a 2020 no mint mark penny really worth $1.2 million? In reality, such extremely high valuations are very rare and typically associated with unique, one-of-a-kind error coins or coins with historical significance. As of now, there is no widely confirmed sale of a standard 2020 no mint mark penny reaching that level. However, certain error coins or exceptionally graded specimens can still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. This is where misinformation can spread quickly online. Viral posts and exaggerated listings often claim massive values without proper verification. That's why it's critical to rely on authenticated sales data and professional grading services when evaluating a coin's true worth. If you think you might have a valuable 2020 penny, here's what you should do. First, examine the coin closely under good lighting. Look for any unusual features such as doubling in the lettering, misalignment, or surface irregularities. Second, avoid cleaning the coin. Cleaning can significantly reduce its value, even if it appears to improve the appearance. Third, consider getting your coin professionally graded by a reputable service. This will provide an official assessment of its condition and authenticity, which is essential for determining its market value. Now let's talk about realistic market values. A typical 2020 no mint mark penny in circulated condition is worth exactly 1 cent. However, uncirculated coins in high grades can sell for a few dollars to around $20 depending on quality. Error coins are where prices start to climb. Minor errors might sell for $10 to $50, while more significant errors can reach into the hundreds. Exceptional error coins with strong visual appeal and rarity can exceed $1,000 or more. The key takeaway is this: not every 2020 penny is valuable, but the right combination of condition and error can make a huge difference. For collectors and content creators, coins like this present an incredible opportunity. The idea that a modern penny could be worth thousands or even more captures attention and drives interest. That's why videos about rare pennies consistently perform well on platforms like YouTube. If you're building a channel around rare coins, focusing on topics like error coins, high-grade modern coins, and realistic value breakdowns can help attract a wider audience. Use keywords such as rare 2020 penny, no mint mark penny value, Lincoln cent errors, and valuable pennies in circulation to improve visibility and reach. Also, always aim to provide accurate and trustworthy information. This builds credibility and keeps viewers coming back for more. Before we wrap up, here's a quick checklist to help you identify a potentially valuable 2020 penny. Check for no mint mark, which indicates Philadelphia origin. Inspect for doubling in letters and numbers. Look for off-center strikes or unusual alignment. Examine the surface for cracks or raised lines. Evaluate overall condition and shine. Even if you don't find $1 million coin, the hunt itself is exciting and rewarding.